Hello everyone, I am Shri and today we are going to dive into this fascinating topic of how religion and philosophy evolved in India. And with us we have Miss Urvi today who is going to elaborate on this topic, and we are very excited to have you, ma'am.
Hello, Shri. I'm so honored to be here and talking about such a vast topic that is religion and philosophy in context of India.
So let me begin. What is your religion if you are not offended, and what is religion to you?
I'm Hindu by religion, but I do not follow it as wholeheartedly as one does. For me, religion is a moral compass, the one guiding me to increase my good deeds and decrease my bad deeds. That is due to the way I've been given conditioning in the childhood. Like, oh, if you do good things, you'll end up in heaven. If you do bad things, you'll end up in hell. So there's always a factor involved while making decisions that, oh, if I do something bad, I'll have an afterlife for centuries in hell, and if I do something good, I'll maybe end up in heaven someday. So one moral compass is that which is leading me how I make decisions. The other factor about religion that helps me is that there is this some power, some energy above all of us that is making sure that we all have justice, because justice is just not only in laws implemented here in our government, but justice is also the things that a power above us keeps in their head. So that is what religion is for me.
Okay, so I'm an atheist, and
Okay.
I personally believe that religion is not linked to this morality point that you were saying, since I don't believe in a higher being or a supreme being, but I still am kind, or I still show humanity. So, but most of the people currently following religion are doing this stuff or doing good deeds only that because they are scared of the bad karma, or that they might go fall into hell. So, is this true? Like, is religion really linked to the morality in humans?
Yes, definitely. I believe there is some correspondence between both of them. They go hand in hand. For example, a person without religion, like not to you specifically, but he wouldn't have the fear of, oh, if I do something good, I'll end up in heaven. If I do something bad, I'll end up in hell. So whatever they are doing is because of their own conscience and what is their morality from inside, rather than a supreme power or deity controlling their decisions, right? But for someone like a majority of people, I believe they are bad people on leash, and the leash is religion, which makes them into kind of presentably good humans. And that's what keeps the society in order. For me, if I did not have religion, I wouldn't be doing as many good deeds that I do. And let me tell you that it's not many. And other than that, if I am lost in my life, I wouldn't have anybody to look up to, or saying or knowing, ki, oh, there's afterlife after this. Oh, I'll be rewarded for this maybe someday because there's some other power looking above after me, and there's some guardian angel taking care of me. So all of those things keep me going in life.
Okay, I think I agree to your point. So, coming to that, I remember that you were saying that you were Hindu, right?
Yeah,
So, can I add on some facts about Hindu?
definitely.
Okay, so the term Hindu wasn't originally present in India.
Oh,
It came from a Persian ruler, and he was a very, like you could say, emperor of sorts.
okay.
And he brought in this term like Hindu to categorize as Indians. And from there, after in the time of the independence struggle, you could say, Raja Ram Mohan Roy or Swami Vivekananda used this term Hindu more to fight against the Britishers
And unite them. Yeah, so
and
sorry to interrupt.
unite our people. So that was that.
Okay.
So like basically the Hindu or the Hinduism is a new word to us.
Oh, that
It's not present in the
I
Vedas.
thought it was present since Rig Vedas, and since soon after Indus Valley civilization declined and Rig Veda started, I believed that Hinduism was a word taken from there. But this is such a new fact we got to know today.
Yeah. And you're mentioning Rig Veda. So are you uh, aware about all the four Vedas and how it evolved?
I am aware about how civilization and religion evolved hand in hand, and I'm also aware about basics of Rig Veda and not much about the later Vedic text that was composed. So I definitely like to add on to these things. So during Indus Valley civilization, right, people used to uh, pray to or worship the natural elements present in the earth that were fertility, and I believe it was because the whole civilization was based near the Indus River, right? So it used to provide them with fertile land, which and that time pastoral and agrarian society. So it used to help their cattle feed, stay, live, and then the people used to consume those cattle. And other than that, agriculture used to thrive on those fertile lands. So people used to worship that fertile land and fertility. Other than that, we found Pashupatinath seals from the remains, and the Pashupatinath seals is a form of proto Shiva, believed to be a form of proto Shiva.
And what is this proto Shiva? Is it like the first form of Shiva or something like that sort?
Yeah, it is the first form that humans believed to be Shiva. Other than
Okay.
that, the form of Shivas, according to humans, have evolved, and along with civilizations, I believe things have evolved and how they see things. Other than that, after Indus Valley civilization, there were also a few animals that were worshipped, right? So it shows worshipping of land, worshipping of fertility, worshipping of animals. So whatever was present in the nature was worshipped by them. After then, Indus Valley civilization came to end for mysterious reasons. Till now, historians cannot prove to which reason did they end. There are many theories like iron invasion, then climate change, then many more factors. Other than that, after decline of Indus Valley civilization came the Vedic age. So Vedic age was divided into Rig Veda and the later Vedic age. So Rig Veda got its name because Rig Veda is the oldest composed text, and it was composed in that time period. So the time period came to known as Rig Veda.
Oh, so it was the oldest one. Before
Yeah,
that, we don't have any existing proofs of this
scripture.
religion or scriptures.
No, that is the oldest written scripture that we Indians have as of now. And I believe that is the only one that has been the backbone, or that age has been the backbone of Hinduism that we masses follow today, right? So Rig Veda is worshipping the deities, like the natural elements present in world, like fire element, then Surya, that was sun element. Other than there was Vayu, which was wind. So all that was worshipped, and at that point of time, the caste was not caste, but the duties were divided in four varnas, which was Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudras.
Okay. So why were these divided like that? On what basis? Can you say that?
Yeah, so it was divided upon the job roles, not job roles, but the duties they used to perform and the functions they used to perform at that given point of time.
Okay.
For example, Brahmins used to pray on behalf of all the people present there. They used to do yajnas, they used to pray for fertile land, fertility of land and people and the women, good health and birth of people. Other than then we had Kshatriyas, who were the rulers, warriors, and then we had Vaishyas, who were the farmers, warriors, craftsmen, and then we had Shudras, who were service providers and helpers.
Okay. So can I add some more facts to that?
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, I know I'm an atheist, but to prove my point or to argue my point, I read many religious stuff or the religious books of different religions. And in that, I got to know about this caste systems too, like
Hmm.
how these evolved. So, the Hindus generally believe that the Brahmins came from the mouth of the Vishnu, and the Kshatriyas came from the arms, and the Vaishyas came from the thighs, and the Shudras came from the feet. So from this, they were divided based on the basis of the duties, like you said, and this might have caused people to get a different meaning overall together. And currently, Shudras or the lower caste people are facing many discrimination or much uh, ill hate or the hate from the people.
So
So,
yes, so sorry.
is religion having a negative impact on the society, or is it because of the people interpreting them wrong?
So I'd like to talk about this through an example. Have you heard about the game known as Chinese Whisper?
Yeah, I
So
might have
like
heard of it.
I whisper something to you, and by the end, like there are 10 people in the room. By the end, that statement comes to me. It is not something that I've said, not even a single word, right? So just among us 10 people, within 15 minutes, the statement, the words can be changed, right? So here we are talking about religion that has been passed on to us since years, rather than years, centuries and centuries. So the way we interpreted it has changed, and people interpret it as the way they want. So earlier, this Varna system, it was not a caste system, it was Varna system. It was
Oh,
it came in place to for social organization, to keep people together, unite them and organize them, not to divide them the way we take it now, right?
from what I read or like what I'm hearing currently,
Yeah, yeah.
I believe the caste and Varna are the same.
Yeah, they are the same. They are the same. So, in the first initial period of Vedic age, it was Rigveda, right? So, Rigveda had this to put it in social organization rather than division. By the time we reached to later Vedic ages, right, when the other texts were composed, it became as a very rigid caste system where people were discriminated among these bases. So, slowly and steadily, just by time and people and how we evolved, things changed from what they were meant to be and how they are today.
Oh, that seems logical right now. So, is it because of the, so we can come to the conclusion that it is because of the middlemen or the gurus in between who interpreted it slightly differently or to their according, and people blindly followed it. So, the people currently are blindly following the religion.
I would say if they were blindly following the religion, it would have been better. What here they are doing is, for example, something is said in the Bible, Quran, or say Bhagavad Gita, they'll take it in the way they want to, right? Either six likha hai, you'll interpret it as six because I've written it as six. But you looking from that perspective will look at it as nine and follow it and preach it as nine, right? So it is the way we look at things, we perceive things. It's not God that divided us or created hatred amongst us. There's this good saying, if Prophet Muhammad, Buddha and Vishnu and Brahmaji, all of them were sitting together at the temple along with Christ, there wouldn't be a conflict like we have today amongst humans, right? They'll have a good dinner, a good chat, and just put ahead their point of views. So it's we people who have taken the religion in its most wrong and worst way.
Yes. So, after the Vedic age, what happened? Like, how did, after the Vedas, what comes in continuation?
So I told you as Rigveda was something that was the oldest written scripture in India, and thereafter came the later Vedic age. And by the time we came into later Vedic age, yes, so it was more about rituals and sacrifices that was more focused rather than the prayers that and the emotions we have towards God. So around fifth and sixth century, sorry, around 5th and 6th century, there evolved around about 60 to 6 of new religions, right? And from them came Jainism and Buddhism. Jainism was found by Mahavira and Buddhism was found by Gautam Buddha. And according to Hindu interpretation, Buddha is the ninth form of Vishnu, but that is just Hindu interpretation. Buddha never preached himself to be a god. He never preached a religion. But what did people do? Made it into a religion. What did people do? Made Buddha into a god. Did he say that he was a god? Did he wanted to be perceived as a god? No. So Buddha had this very simple philosophy in life that life is painful, right? And where does the pain come from? Desires. Because if you have a desire and it is not fulfilled, what will you be left with? Pain. So what is the only way to get out of pain? Is never to have any desires, to be attached from this non-materialistic world. Everything is temporary. And on the similarity, there existed Jainism, which preach. Oh, and you know, just to add on to fact, Jains are one of the richest community in India right now,
Yes.
and they preach non-violence, which was preached by Gandhi as well later. And they also preach non-attachment to materialistic things, like don't be attached. You have this for example something here, right? You won't have it tomorrow. It does not mean you are going to cry about it. It was nothing is yours. You came here with nothing, you leave here with nothing. So that was a few philosophies that emerged, and this came out as a revolt from Hinduism for Hinduism. Why?
You were saying that it's a revolt for Hinduism that
Yeah,
Buddhism and Jainism evolved.
yeah.
But in between, I heard you saying that it was a Hindu interpretation that Vishnu is an avatar of, is Vishnu's one of the avatar is Buddha. So if they were revolting against Hindu, so why did Hindu try to include them into their religion?
So this is one of the theories that I have learned about by reading a few books. So as for this we have to move on to a further stage in evolution.
Okay.
That is when Britishers came and we were fighting for freedom struggle. So now we were already divided on the basis of Hindu and Muslim. Now if we have other factors or branches, that is Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and a lot many more branches, and then the whole society is divided among the religions, whereas what is India preaching on? We are united, we are secularist. So for the society to come together and fight against with the freedom of from Britishers, we had to include Buddhism and Jainism into our branch, and Hindus, as a way of lovingly accepting Hinduism and Jainism, they made their own Hindu interpretations about Jainism and Buddhism.
Okay. So like it was a strategic move, you could say that.
Definitely a strategic move to include Jainism and Buddhism. And if somebody, you talk to somebody who is not well acquainted with the factors and terms regarding religion, if you ask, is Jainism and Buddhism under Hinduism, they would say yes, but they don't know. Jainism itself is a different religion. Buddhism itself, so Buddhism is not a part of Hinduism. Jainism is not a part of Hinduism, and Hinduism itself is a different religion from Buddhism and Jainism.
So upon hearing that, this comes to my mind about Sikhs. The Sikhs faced a similar, or yes, you could say the similar issue. So what I read is was that in past Sikhs were often discriminated and they were seen as Muslims since they had the same attire, like the turban, or they kept long beards. So and this is the image of a ideal Muslim, and it was similar, quite similar to the Sikhs. And the Sikhs were, due to this reason, were discriminated highly. And later on they protested, and the Sikhs constantly had to put up their point that they were different and they were unique compared to the Muslims, and that they were different from the Muslims. And the main difference we could say was that they have different teachings, and they're also the style how they wear the turban is quite different to what the Muslims wear. So this could be an identifying factor for us right now. So later on in the independence struggle, like how there was strategy where the Buddhism and the Jainism were considered a part of Hinduism. In the same way, they added the Sikhism too in this, and that's what I wanted to add up to your part.
So I see every religion has their own struggles and fights.
Yes, coming up to the struggles and fights currently in the society, or from the past to up till now, and even now they're facing the major or the majority victims of the religions religious misinterpretations would be women.
Oh yes, I definitely agree upon that.
And why I'm saying that women were the majority victims, that was because the patriarchy or the other religious factors that were there, they were misinterpreted, and the male or the men present at in the past have imposed this on the woman, and they have been struggling up to now. So what is your views on this patriarchy, and is it really the cause from the religion, or it was just a mindset?
I would say you are very true upon that, that women have been the major victims from the conflicts they've been facing, be it Hinduism, be it Muslim, be it Christianity. Women is always the one facing problems and the victim of patriarchy through religion. Do you think God would divide humans based on gender? No, it is just different ways of being, right? So God did not create hatred amongst us. God, we were here together, not for like women are not here for men, the way it is portrayed in the many of the mythologies, right? So it is culture which made it into like this, not God. Like for example, in Ramayana, Ma Sita had to go through fire to prove her purity, right? So it is always the woman put on pedestal to prove her purity, be there for their family, right? Where is the part of men for following these functions? Did Ram Bhagwan go through fire to show his purity? No, but did Sita Ma used to had to go through that? Yes. So that is factor patriarchy in Hinduism. But when we go and look into its other part, So even Krishna ji has said this, that before taking my name, you should take Radha's name, because it will impart you the most blessings you can get. That is Radha Krishna. That is what was that is yet said, right? कृष्ण जी के नाम लेने से पहले राधा जी का नाम आता है. So that is also there in our mythologies, right? So it is a combination of both. But what is followed most right now? It is the part where the women have been subjected to violence, or be it inferiority. We also call our rivers goddesses. So what is the factor that we thrive on? Water. The human civilization works on water. अगर हम उन्हें माँ बुलाते तो what is it trying to depict? कि female are the ones that create and sustain the ecosystem and the universe, in a way, if you look at it, right?
So this point that you mentioned, that like women would be the major part, or the center point of all the ecosystem.
Definitely.
So is this mentioned in other religions too, like the Muslim or the Christian?
So like we Hindus follow Bhagavad Gita, Muslims follow Quran. And there are many patriarchal verses through modern lenses if we look at it. For example, it is said that uh, women should be covering her bosoms, right? It is said in Quran very clearly. But if we look at it from a different POV, right, there are many ways to look at things, right? So through modern lens, it is said to be very patriarchal, right? That the women has to cover, not the men,
Yes.
right? But if you look at the Quran and what the verse says, that both men and women should wear and dress up modestly. And if you look at the time it was made, the Quran, right? 7th century Arabia. So at that time, to protect women from Eve teasing, it was suggested that women should cover up, because that
Oh,
was,
I didn't know that.
yeah, so that was the time where it was a patriarchal world, ruled by men, controlled by men, driven by men, right? And even the Quran was written by men. So what do you expect, right? So instead of following things blindly, we should evolve with time and understand. We humans have a very bad tendency, I'd like to point this out. जो गलत लिखा होगा उस पे ज्यादा फोकस लेके we'll try to take those learnings, right?
Yes.
The ones that we should be following, उसको हाँ ठीक है, that is okay, वो फॉलो नहीं करना है. बट जो गलत लिखा है, जो that we have not evolved with, right, that वहाँ पे सबसे ज्यादा ध्यान जाएगा हमारा.
That is the basic nature of human tendency.
Yeah, innate human
Like in
nature.
a white paper, there's a small black dot,
Hmm.
and you would only see the black dot. You won't see the whole white part. So we only
Definitely.
focus on negatives morely, and it's a basic human nature, and we can't deny that.
Definitely, definitely. And there is this part in Quran that is said ki the inheritance, the son should have twice more than the daughter, right? So right now, what do we view it as? Oh, women are considered, the daughters are considered as inferior. They should be given less. But let's go back to the time it was written. Okay, it was written in 7th century Arabia, the time where women were not even allowed to take birth into the world. They were killed as infants. And let alone inheritance, they did not have the right to drive their own life, and they did not own anything. So Quran used that as an empowering way to say that daughters should get some inheritance. So अभी हम लोग ये जो देखते कम दिया जा रहा है, but उस time के according at least something was given. So that was what we have to look at. But
I'm
what
seeing Quran in a new light now, right now.
definitely, and that is how we are supposed to look at every cultural book or scriptural book, right? So even Bhagavad Gita has a lot many good learnings, right? There are a few good bad learnings in Hindu mythology as well. And how okay, I'll try to talk about this. Mahabharata, Draupadi, the men were the one who lost everything. The men were the one who begged their wife, but did they have authority or the property rights over their women that they were betting her? No. Yet who was facing the outcomes of that? The women.
Mm.
And so what do we view it as today? Oh, she's the woman of the house, she's supposed to do this. No, he's not. She's not here on this planet to serve you, rather she is here with you. Why do we not see Radha Krishna? Why do we ignore that, right?
Yes.
And on to the new things that happened right now. Israel banned the legal law that women were supposed to cover themselves up in public, right? So right now women in Israel are celebrating that new victory they've gotten.
Okay, so can't we say that it was a way of, like how you said, it was to protecting the woman? So there is still eve teasing happening in the country, and there are still many things happening against the women, or So can't we say that it's better for them to cover up properly?
No, right now the times have changed. We have evolved from that primitive nature of men to such an evolved society. And according to Bible, since the earliest times, it was said that Eve was the one who tempted Adam, and she subjected morally weak, right?
Yes.
Right? Till now. So if men cannot control their gaze about women and how they look at women, even at this stage of their lives, and of how far we've come from evolution, right? And even if you're single, or even if you have some women at your house and you are committed, if a man can't control his gaze and how he looks towards women, can man really control the countries they are leading today?
No, that was a good point you stated. So to sum up what you said, we could say that women were the victims, and it was the problem of the misinterpretation. And to change this, what can we do right now? So, like, what do you suggest we do to
So
stop this?
So in my opinion, it should come from the way our mindset is right now, right? So the first question you came up with is, shouldn't women cover up more to stop the eve teasing? You know, there are women raped even when they are years and years old, when they have nothing attractive to be, according to the male gaze, right? Yet they are raped. Women in hijab, fully covered, are raped. So is it the women's problem that they are not covering a problem, or is it the men's problem? So it is taught since childhood. Oh, uh, get a sanskari bahu, and a lot many different ways and things that come up in each and every household, right? It is different, subjective, but it is always said that there is women who is there to take care of you. Are women here to take care of you?
No, it should be equal
Yeah.
and reciprocal, or you would say that.
Definitely. And there is a huge change that Indian mindset needs. It's not only Indian, but majorly Indian. Not only Indian, but majorly Indian. That Indian men think that the women, the first question that comes up if a girl is teased, eve teased, or something happenings happens with her, right? What was she wearing? Is that
Yes.
the question we should be asking? At what time was she outside? Was that the question we should be asking? A man can roam around in whatever clothes at whatever given period of time without fearing will he return home tonight alive or dead, right? But the women has to worry about it even in daylight, fully covered. So our society is lagging in a lot many things, right? A lot many things. And even today, child marriages is highly practiced, जबकि सालों पहले ऋग्वेदा एज में there were no signs of child marriage. Okay, later Vedic age did have child marriages, sati rituals, but look at it how we were as an evolution. Instead of coming ahead and further, we are going backwards in time. Like, I don't think so even backward in time any human, women, or even say animals or children would be facing this kind of negativity, hatred, and the things we are facing today right now. This all did not exist past in the society. So instead of coming forward, we are coming back. We are going
Yes.
backwards.
Yes, it feels shameful to admit that whatever you said was right and 100% true. So let me ask you, which mythology story did you read, and what character strike you the most as inspiring to you?
Oh, so one of the mythological characters that strike me the most is Krishna ji. So I'd give you the exact reasons why he strikes me the most. One of the reasons is that even after having so much of wisdom within himself, he did not gain attitude like many people do in today's world. Obviously, we cannot compare humans and gods, but this is one thing. Even at that time, he was God, but in human form, right? He could have fallen for that things that he did not, right? Thereafter, even after having so much of wisdom, he had that playfulness, that childhoodness in himself that many people lose with time. Even though he grew older, while giving lessons to people, he gave it in a fun banter ways, right? He made sure that life is not to be taken seriously, yet there are some things that are need to be taken seriously. He did had a few values and principles which he followed very seriously, but along that path he did not lose the motive to have fun and have a good laugh whenever possible.
Yes. So coming to the point of the, like, we covered up to the 6th century, I
Yeah.
think. So what happened in 7th century in India? Do you have any idea about that?
Yeah. So after Jainism and Buddhism came out as different sects of religion sects in India, thereafter came Ashoka time, Ashoka emperor,
Oh,
who ruled a part of India, right? And due to him, there was a widespread attention gain towards Buddhism. Many people went towards Buddhism, and Buddhism was one of the well followed religion at that point of time due to Emperor Ashoka. After that came Emperor Gupta, and through which came the Bhakti time, the devotion time. जहाँ पे मंदिर बनवाए गए शिव जी के, दूसरे भगवान जी के, सभी मंदिर बनवाए गए. And thereafter, instead of yajnas and sacrifices, which was the core behind or foundation between religion at a given point of time, what was now focused was what kind of faith you have in yourself towards God, what kind of beliefs you have for gods, what kind of emotion or bhakti you pray with to God. So that was what was more focused.
I think I read quite a few information or parts about this Bhakti movement. So this happened in the 8th century, where the first the the in Hinduism, in the Bhakti movement, you could say that Adi Shankaracharya was the main major figure, and he's a very well-renowned figure. And he brought in the Advaita, where and he also wrote many commentaries or his opinion on the Upanishads. Upanishads are the sacred texts of the Hindus. You could say that it tells us how to live life. You could say that, and in this Advaita, Adi Shankaracharya was basically trying to explain about the Brahman, Atman, and Atman means the soul, and Brahman means the ultimate
The
reality or the
universal soul.
yes, and the ultimate universe, you could say, the ultimate supreme being, Brahman. And this is what he wanted to convey, and that everything is God, and everything we are God. So that's what he wanted to convey, that, and there is God in me, there is God in you, and we need to worship him, we need to love him. So that's what he used to convey. And there is a similar person, similar philosopher, and that would be Ramanujacharya, and his part of contribution was Vishishtha Advaita, where you could say he has similar beliefs to Shankaracharya. Just the main difference was Shankaracharya thought that Brahman and Atman was same, or everything was the same, whereas and not distinct. Whereas Ramanujacharya considered them to be same but distinct too, like how it's a part of a whole, like a part of circle. So this Atman is a part of the Brahman, and that we need to surrender to God, and that God is real but different from us, and that we need to worship him. So that's what Ramanujacharya tried to convey. And coming to his life, I think the major thing that I noticed was he was born in Tamil Nadu, and at that time the casteism was at a peak, and the Varna system was misinterpreted, and the people were discriminating the Shudras from entering the temples and stuff. So the thing he did was he used to climb up the temple structures or the temple walls, and he used to teach from the temples the Upanishads or the uh, Vishishtadvaita. He used to convey his thoughts in the common language of the Shudras to them, even though it was opposed and he was constantly getting hatred from his people, from the Brahmins or the higher caste people. He still tried to help the lower caste to reach God, or to uh, know the path to moksha. So he conveyed the path to moksha, I would say that. So that's what I read from.
Oh, that's such a good insight to know. And I'd like to add on to this. So, Westerns have a very quite well differentiation between philosophy and religion. Whereas in India, there is not a well-defined difference between religion and philosophy, right? In my opinion, or what I understand as religion and philosophy is religion is both are the path leading to the same thing, answers to why am I here, how do I uh, exist in this life, uh, what is my duty on this planet, what have I done to be here, right? And these are the some questions we always seek answers to. So there are two paths to get these answers. One is religion's way, right? So in
From
religious,
what I understand, that religion is something that related to God and philosophy is not related to God. That's what I
the
got
basic
the
difference,
basic
yeah.
difference. So
Yeah.
is that true,
Yeah,
or is there
definitely
any
that
more?
is the basic difference. And what in religion you blindly believe what is given to you, right?
Yes.
The thing according to religion you write is I believe. In philosophy you inquire, you think, you try to understand, introspect to get those answers. So the way to get those answers here in philosophy is to introspect, to inquire. In religion is because I believe. Here there are rituals practiced. Here there are endless inquiries you do to ask yourself the questions, why do I do this? So that is the main difference for me. And your difference, or the excellence you proved it, that um, for religion it is God, and philosophy it is without God. So there is also that one basic difference, and there
So
are
do
also
you
many.
think that it should be like that? So like, should philosophy exist? So because from my point of view, you could consider a family where the mother is teaching her child something. So her child believes in her. So that's why he blindly follows her. So you could say it's the same in the religion. So why to waste more time inquiring, whereas we could directly follow the path to the moksha or the other stuff that is mentioned in the arts.
That is such an intriguing question, and I'd like to answer this to you. Okay, so your mother that is teaching you, she might be correct. What is she teaching you, right? But in other household, some mother might be teaching their child wrong. So if every child in the world decides to believe and follow the mother, here metaphorically used for God, blindly, and even if something is opposing, कुछ गलत सिखाया जा रहा है, फिर भी if we follow it blindly, isn't it one blind leading another blind, right?
Yes.
And philosophy is there required. So instead of following things blindly, right? Abhi religion is used for culture, politics, everything, right? Politicians use religion and culture so much you can't believe it right now. But philosophy, nobody can use it against you because that is something you've gotten answers from your own inquiry. If we have enough knowledge about this, but for example some xyz person is asked, why do you believe in this God? His answer will be because I was taught to do so. Whereas an atheist if asked, why do you believe you are an atheist, or why do you not believe in God? So he will have his answers. Why? Because he went on his own quest to find answers to those questions. So I believe philosophy should exist, and it is required. As much as religion is important in the society, philosophy is also important.
Yes, I get what you're saying, and that's 100% agreeable. So here we have reached the end to our discussion of today, and thank you, Miss Urvi, for sharing your insights. It was very knowledgeable, and it was very exciting for me.
Thank you very much, Sri. It was great to be here, and I got to know about so many facts I did not know earlier, as well as I cleared up so many misconceptions that I had in my mind, right? One of them would be regarding atheism. And oh, I learned about Sikhism so well from you. Thank you very much.